So this big pond here is the first one that I've filled up. Well, I haven't filled it up, the rain's filled it up. So I have the gutter that runs down the back of the polytunnel and it feeds the ponds, and this is one of the ponds. And so it's filled it up, which is fantastic. It did have a little bit of gross water in there, but it's filled it up. And I've put a little tiny bubbler in there that comes off the other one. I'm cleaning out the goldfish pond. I've put some of the goldfish in the outdoor pond, and then I've got a few in this tub as well. There's only a few little ones in there, and they will go back into their pond eventually when it's all cleaned out. But for now, this is my new pond, indoor pond for this season. And in here I've got a load of platies and guppies, and they're all going to go, and some ram's horn snails. I've got some pondweed in here, but it's out of my fish tank at home. So I've got the frog bit, there's some water lettuce, dwarf water lettuce, there's some different things, and there are mosquito larvae in here already, which is a good thing that I'm putting these fish in. So I'm just going to tip them in, and I'm just bringing you along to show you. There we go. Now the majority of them are platies. I don't think I've got any swordtails. Platies and guppies and ram's horn snails. Now they will all be fine in here, and I should imagine they'll breed and do quite well. I am also going to bring a load of barbs up here as well. Now I don't know whether they're going to have their own pond, but guppies, mollies, platies and swordtails will be in this one, and at the minute it's just really platies and guppies, and I'll have to catch all the rest of them up and bring them up here, so there'll be swordtails and mollies to go in here as well. But for now, there we go, I've just put in the guppies and platies, and I'm sure they'll be fine. Temperature of the water is quite warm, and they can go down to lower temperatures, and you can see them there, they're all shoaling and swimming about. They're looking good, and like I say, they'll clear up all the mosquito larvae. There are mosquito larvae in here already, but that'll be what they feed on to start off with, and then eventually I'll be feeding them as well. I might at some stage, depending on how many ponds I've got and whether I've got enough room, separate different ones out, but I think all the live bearers should go together anyway. Last year I had barbs, long fin rosy barbs, ordinary rosy barbs, Odessa barbs, and they were all in with the guppies, platies, mollies and swordtails. This year I've got a load of barbs to bring up, and I kind of want to have their own pond, but there's a new sort, there's black ruby barbs as well to go in with them. But for now, this is my new live bearer pond, and it's giant. It's I think it's about 7 or 8 foot by 4 foot, and it's lined with a pond liner rather than with plastic like I did last year. I also have the goldfish pond, which is that one there, which is a horse trough. I've got another one set up over there that I did have the shrimp in, but I've moved the shrimp into the goldfish bowl sort of thing. I'll show you. So the shrimp are in here, and it's like a giant goldfish bowl. I'd made it out of a lampshade, and I've just put the shrimp in with a lot of different plants. They're trimmings from home, and there's 3 apple snails or mystery snails in here as well. Anyway, so this is my shrimp pond, and this is my live bearer pond, and I've got more to come up, as I say, swordtails and mollies, and they'll be going in here as well. And I'll probably put one of the fountains in here as well, just to oxygenate it a bit more, although there is quite a large area, surface area to oxygenate it, and it is dripping in from the gutter. As I put the ponds in place, I'm going to put another one here and another one over there, and then I've got the small one as well. So I'm going to I've got 2 already made up, and they've already got the liners in, so they're going to go over here in the next 2 spaces. So I'll have 1, 2, 3, 4 already done up, and then I've got another 4 or 5 to build as well. And yeah, it'll all go well, I'm sure. It's good that the gutter fits, so I think the gutter will reach to go over to this one and possibly to the other one as well, and to that one there, and to the goldfish bowl when I've cleaned goldfish pond when I've cleaned it out washed it and cleaned it all out. Anyway, I just thought I'd bring you in for a quick update of me releasing my live bearer fish into the pond. This one everyone as well, cheers. So I brought up a load of fish just now, and they were guppies and platies really. I didn't have the mollies and the swordtails. So the guppies and platies are already in, and in this bucket I've got a load more fish. But these fish are the swordtails, the mollies, and there's also some platies in there as well. I think I got the majority of the guppies on the first load. So I don't know whether I'm going to put these two videos together or do part 1 and part 2. But adding more fish to their summer pond, which is within the polytunnel. So these ones are platies and swordtails. We add them. Been sat in the bucket in the actual tub for a little while. Let's just empty them out. Here they go, look. Get nice colours, look. The odd mealworm there. These are dry mealworms that I feed to fish. And there's a load of snails left. These are all lambthorn snails. So yeah, there we go. Platies, mollies, guppies and swordtails in this pond. And this is their home for the summer. And they'll probably breed and I'll have tons more. But this is where they're going to live. They've got an air stone on either side, a little one on the left hand side, a big one on the right hand side, and that aerates the water during the daytime when it's hot. And they've also got the gutter which drips water in, which is why it's so full. Yesterday it had a little drizzle of water in, and today it's got absolutely tons in, but it is putting fresh water in from the outside. We had a big downpour just now, so I'm just going to scrape off this gunk, this leaf gunk, and yeah, but it keeps topping it up. There are mosquito larvae already in here, so I'll probably give them a feed tomorrow. The algae will build up in here as well, and with guppies, mollies, platies and swordtails, they're algae grazers. You can see there's a lot of leaf litter in there as well. They'll find things to rummage through. And I have got fish food, which is like goldfish food, which I'll be feeding to them up here for the summertime. There's a big one there, a big swordtail, female swordtail. There's a few boys, a few girls, there's loads over there, they're all shoaling together, which is great. Lots of platies. I think there's about 3 or 4 different sorts of platies, and then there's 2 or 3 different sorts of swordtails. There's black mollies, and all of the guppies are like a green or yellow tailed guppy. I can see lots of flicking on the surface of the water, which is mosquito larvae, and there are quite a lot actually, but the fish will soon find them and they'll devour them, so there won't be any problem with mosquito larvae in here. I've also got different types of plants out of the polytunnel, out of my fish tanks at home. They're the trimmings of them, and there's also floating plants. The floating plants are English frog bit, there's a bit here and there's a bit over there. There's some floating water lettuce, dwarf water lettuce, some red rooter, and some salvinia, dwarf salvinia. And then there's different types of fish tank plants as well, such as water wisteria, bacopa, and other sorts of things as well that's in here. So this is all for the summer. There's a little bit of starwort as well, which is a underwater waterweed. Anyway, I'm sure that everything will multiply in the fish tank, in the pond out here. I can see mosquitoes that are trying to lay their eggs in here as well, and the fish will eat them as well. So this is the first pond done, first pond full of guppies, platies, mollies and swordtails, all the live bearers. I have got some bristlenose catfish which I'm hoping to bring up as well. I just want to make sure the temperatures are up in here first before I bring them up. But they'll grow on as well because they're outdoors, outdoors for the summer, and they'll be, all the fish that I bring up will be in for the summer months. So we're in May now, they'll probably in July, August, May, June, July, August, September, and then I take them back in at the end of September as it gets cold again in England. So they're out for a few months, they tend to multiply, and I'll end up with absolutely tons of them. Anyway, I hope you're well. I might have some more carnivorous plants to put in as well. We'll see how I go with them as well. Okay, anyway, cheers.